Hello, I'm Carla Estell, and welcome to Health is Here. Today we are going to look at place value. Place value is a very important concept for kids to understand. It also can be a rather difficult concept. So I have put it into this flip chart so we can turn it into pictures, which is easier to see. On the far side here, you have your ones, and we will get it back to 0. And we're going to use grapes because grapes are real easy to put into groups. So we have 1 grape, 2 grapes, 3 grapes, and notice they are in a triangle. If you get in the habit of always putting your manipulatives into a triangle when you're talking about 3, then you don't have to count 1, 2, 3. You'll look and see, oh, that's 3. 4 is the same way. We put them into a square, and a square takes 4 grapes. For 5, we add a roof to that square and make it look like a house. 6 is a shoebox. For 7, we add a roof to that shoebox and make it into a tall motel. 8 is 2 groups of 4. It can get a little confusing. It's a lot of grapes to look at, but you'll notice if you circle around them, you are drawing a figure 8. And once kids start to do that, they learn 8 very easily. 9, we have a finished house with a roof and an unfinished house without its roof. Now, if we were going on to 10, we would add another roof and have 2 finished houses. However, when you're talking place value, when you get 10, you are leaving the 1s and you're hopping over to the 10s, which is why this says flip. So we're going to flip this one and flip the others all the way back to 0, because when you have 10 grapes, you have 1 cluster, but it has 10 individual grapes. So a number on this side is representing the 10s, a group that has 10. So as we keep going, we now have 10 plus 1 more, which makes 11. 10 plus 2 more, 12. 13, 14. The teens get a little bit tricky compared to once we get up into the 20s, 30s, 40s, because you actually say the 4 first. It's 14, and that teen stands for 10. So we have 15, 16, 17, and you really don't want to just get in the habit of being able to count 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. You want to understand the concept. What does 17 mean? 17 means you've got 1 cluster of grapes and 7 more separate grapes. After 17, we have 18. 19, and when we get 1 more grape, we are going to flip. And now we don't have any more single grapes, but we have 2 clusters of grapes. So we have 20 grapes. 21, and so forth all the way. Now, the good thing to use your flip chart for is when you have a problem like what comes before and after 24. So we're going to find the 24. So here's your 24. What came before 24? We flip back 1 and see it's 23. What comes after 24? Well, let's get to the 24 and let's see what comes after it is a 5. So we have 25. Oftentimes it's tricky as to what number are we changing. We're changing the ones when we're counting by ones. But we can also count by tens. We can say, if I have 25 grapes and I got 10 more, what would I have? Well, 10 more would be another cluster. And we would then have 35 grapes. Well, what if someone came along and ate a whole cluster of grapes and we took 10 away? Then we're back to our 25. Another thing this is good for is learning how to count by fives. And so to count by fives, you'd come back here to your 0. You would get a paper clip and you would clip these together, your 0s and your 5s. And so if we were going to start by count by 5s, see if I can do this, we'd have 5, then we'd have 10, then we'd have 15, then we'd have 20, then we'd have 25, and we would have 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Gets a little bit hard on this to be flipping back and forth. I did not have this when our kids were little. Instead, I started by making small flip charts. And it works the same way, except you can sit them on your lap as you flip through the flip chart. So you'd have your 1s, your 2s. So with this, it's much easier to clip your 5s and flip back and forth to 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and so forth. You can also use this to count by 2s. It takes more clips, but you just clip them together so that you can go back and forth between your 0, clip your 3 to your 2, clip your 4 to your 5. And clip your 7 and 6 together. So if you were counting by 2s, you would clip 2 together and you would have 2, 4, 6, 8, and after the 8 is when you would flip over here because we're counting by 2s. And we would have 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, then you would flip your 10s and have 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, and 30, and so forth. So the charts aren't just good for place value, they're also good for counting by 5s and counting by 10s. But let's see what's going to happen when we get all the way to 99. We'll count by 10s here to get there. We have 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and notice that this says flip. When you have 90 clusters of grapes and you get one more cluster, all those clusters go over here. So we're going to flip, and now we have 100 grapes. But those 100 grapes are all on one vine. So this number here stands for how many vines do we have? And every vine has 100 grapes. So as the one moves from place to place, the value of that one changes. Here it's standing for 100 because that's how many grapes are on a vine. Here it's standing for 1 cluster, and there are 10 grapes in a cluster. And here the 1 means just 1. Right, I hope this is helpful to you, and you can email me and order a flip chart if you'd like, or they are very easy to make. It's just paper. This is a piece of cardstock that I fold up and put the little stacks of paper on. And then on this one on the back, I went ahead and put money so that they could be learning that too. Until next time, I hope this helps you with your place value. Please be sure to comment and like on this video. And if you would have something you'd like for me to teach, just leave it in the comments.